Hey yo, I'm Denis, and in this video I will show you how I helped one startup book 16 product demos in just 3 weeks of working together. Make sure you stay to the end because I will walk you through all the things where we looked for bottlenecks in the funnel so that you can analyze yours as well. So for context, PowerLeads is a startup helping lead gen and marketing agencies scrape leads from YouTube. They've joined SaaS camp with an issue of not knowing the right go-to-market strategy. They were finding it difficult to book calls with prospects, had low reply rates, and prospects just weren't interested in getting on calls. And our aim was to solve all of these. This is their website. This is a testimonial from Ilya where he shared how we had 52 positive replies from just 3 weeks of running campaigns, 16 calls, 4 converted into sales, and 1 turned into a $23K deal. These are the screenshots of all the calls which we booked. The first thing we've done was identifying the right market positioning. And as you've seen in some of my other videos, this is the very first thing we always go for. Because if you are not sure who exactly you need to be selling to, it's going to be a very hard journey. That's why we were brainstorming, okay, who would be the buyers who would be paying most for the service and for the platform. The interesting thing about PowerLeads has been that they were the first in the market to provide a working YouTube scraping algorithm. The good part was that nobody was dictating rules for the pricing, but the issue that there was no one we could actually replicate the acquisition strategies from. So we brainstormed who would be the companies who would get the most value, and these were lead generation agencies serving creators and digital marketing agencies doing business around YouTube. So I went to Apollo, and this is just an example of an Apollo scrape, which you can use for finding leads for your campaigns as well. After building lead lists in Apollo, we went to the thing called exportapollo.io, and after scraping leads inside Apollo, we went to exportapollo.io, as it allows to get Apollo contacts cheaper by bypassing the extraction limit. And this allowed us to get 40,000 contacts for just $100. Second, we went to set up dynamic marketing system. So initially, we didn't know the best positioning and the message that would perform best. That's why we created 4 campaigns to test multiple angles. And why we approach this dynamic marketing is because, again, at the start, you always never know what is the right message and positioning to go with. And that's why you need to be treating your marketing in a dynamic way, always tweaking and adjusting it in the first few months, if not years, of growing your startup. Exactly for that reason, we did multiple variations for cold email campaigns, because at the start, we wanted to test as many different approaches as possible. We went for the case study hook, question hook, authority hook, and free value hook. After sending out initial 3,000 emails from 30 domains, we found which campaigns were performing best and doubled down on the free value one. You ask me, Dennis, why are you using 30 domains and how the are you sending 3,000 emails a day? Well, if you use more than 10 domains and you don't go beyond 50 emails per domain limit, this is the exact strategy that lets you reach 3,000 new contacts every single day, which adds up to be nearly 100K contacts a month. And this is actually the way you can scale your SaaS through cold email. So sneak peek of one campaign, 93% open rate, 15% reply rate, and every 4th reply is positive. The campaign that we started shortly after, 77% open rate, 10% reply rate. After we tested messaging and positioning on such a number of contacts, we found the positioning and variations that were booking us the most calls and were converting the most sales. If you'd like my help with getting more product demos for your SaaS, by the way, visit saascamp.com, because we'll build you an in-house dynamic marketing system like this that will get you 20 extra qualified demos a month in 6 months or less, or we'll just refund you. Awesome. Next step was streamlining the sales process. None of this would make sense if we didn't put a proven sales process in place. So we sent relevant materials to leads prior to the call to warm them up. And this is a thing which I see dozens of startups not doing at all, that you never send the case studies, social proof, and useful materials to the leads prior to them getting on a demo. No surprise, you can never close someone in one call, because it takes usually 7 points of contact between them first interacting with you and them sending you money. In enterprise and high ticket, we're talking about even 17, if not 27, instead of just 7 contact points. So, but how can you get the 7 contact points if you just have a one call with them, if they see you there for the first time? Well, no one prevents you from dropping them a WhatsApp message, sending them a bunch of videos with your face on it, then sending them a bunch of testimonials and case studies also with your face on it, and them becoming way more aware about your software than they would otherwise be just jumping on a call not prepared. Another thing which really helps is adding a quiz to the Calendly link, such way that you can filter out irrelevant prospects even prior to the call, and based on that you would be handling some of the calls in a certain way. So for instance, the way we do it for most of the startups is that we are figuring out the revenue stage, the buying intent, and multiple other factors when the people are booking the call. So once they come on the call, the SDR or the founder is already prepared to handle the call in a certain way because they've got the certain materials ready. This puts an extra 5 to 10% to our close rate, which over the period of 6 months turns out to be large amounts of money. So for the call itself, we qualified the lead, built up cost of inaction, and converted them during our one call close structure. If you'd like to learn more about this call framework we use, how to apply this cost of inaction in your deals, check out my other YouTube video called Script for 65% Close Rate. I covered it there in depth. I'm sure you'll learn a ton of useful stuff if you haven't seen it yet. Awesome. The next step was optimizing the funnel, and this is what we usually go for after we know the message that's converting and the channel that's performing best. After the first 20 calls, we went through conversions at each step of the funnel to identify our bottlenecks. We analyzed open rates, reply rate, click-through rates, booking rates, time from reply to booking, because sometimes people actually take between 3 to 7 to even a couple of weeks from the moment they say yes, let's get on a call, to them jumping on a calendar. So you don't want to miss people here. Lead scores recorded in CRM, lead commitment level, length of the deal cycle, 3 main types of buyers, and upsell conversions. So our open rates and reply rates, and as well as our referrals, were insanely high. At one point of time, it was that nearly every second person would be bringing us another customer within 30 days of them purchasing from us. So we didn't like that it took an average of 4 weeks from initial contact to getting the payment. Yes, in most of the B2B sales, especially when it comes to companies of 50 to 100 employee size, this would be common, but we thought that for those companies and agencies that we were interacting with, it should be quicker. So we added incentives for purchasing quickly, like bonuses, discounts, stuff like that. And this is the exact process which we built for Power Leads. So thanks a lot for watching, and if you have some questions, please drop them in the comments. I read and reply to all of them. See you in the next one.